Hello everyone, how's it going today? Happy Friday! We are finally back for some more Lego building. I once again apologize for the delays, the missed stream sessions and everything like that. It has been a time. It has been a time, shall we say. But I thought that I would come back with a set that I've been really looking forward to building, the LEGO Ideas Minifigure Vending Machine. They actually had a, let's see if I can show off the minifigs easily. They had a poll, sorry, this is kind of at an angle. They had a poll to vote on like what color of classic space minifigs we'd get, and I think what shield designs we'd get for the castle ones. So that was pretty cool. That was really cool of them to do, I think. So I'm excited for this set. It's a working vending machine. You actually put in a little coin, and it will actually come out with a minifig. Glad to notice I am not currently covered in hives or bees or beehives. That's true. That is true. Yes, I am not covered in hives, unlike last time. In fact, like, so that, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Wednesday, or a week and a half? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Just toss that onto the ground. I had noticed some things that I thought were just bug bites, which is how the previous hives had started too. Because that's what a bug bite is. A bug bite is a single hive. Like hives. Like I'm not sure exactly what the proper singular term for that is. But yeah, so a bug bite is a singular allergic reaction to the same process, the same thing. So it's very hard to distinguish like initial hives from bug bites or an allergic reaction to something. And it was after the stream that I like looked in the mirror, looked at my body in the mirror, and was like, oh yeah, there's a lot more of these. These are definitely hives. And it was the next morning when it was like, that's when the outbreak was full on. So I'd noticed them beforehand, but I thought they were just bug bites because I had been outside helping someone. And you know, you occasionally get like spider bites when you're asleep and stuff like that, so. But yeah, so it was the detergent that I use that I've been using probably for 15 years, maybe even 20. And I think it's because I think my these other medicines that I'm on have made me sensitive to that, to an ingredient in that, and that's a pretty common allergy, is sensitivity to some of those ingredients. Although, like for most people, they'll just get like a bit of a rash, you know, some itchiness, that kind of thing, rather than full-blown, full-body hives. Well, so, like, that's the thing, is I think that medicine that I'm taking just changed my body chemistry to be allergic to that now. Now, that can happen naturally. Like, you can use something for years and years, and then after a while, your body is just like, nope. I don't like that anymore. You're going to be allergic to it. But yeah, so hives is kind of like on the scale of allergic reactions, hives is like right here before anaphylactic shock, which if the hives get into, like if it were something that I was eating and it gets into my throat and cuts off my air supply and stuff like that, and gets into my bloodstream, it's basically the same reaction that causes anaphylactic shock. So luckily, it was just clothes. It was just, you know, contact hives kind of thing. But yeah, very, 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 very annoying. Very, very itchy. Extremely itchy. It was a lot worse than the previous time because, again, like, the previous time I got it, which was 2 years ago, I think. You can lose allergies. You can lose allergies. I don't think I'm as allergic to cats as I used to be, but I think I am still allergic to them. But yeah, you can definitely lose allergies. There, like, I mean, there's like childhood allergies are a thing, and a lot of people lose them in adulthood too. You know, a lot of kids sensitive to peanuts will not be sensitive to peanuts in adulthood, kind of thing. So yeah, it was just miserable because, like, again, 2 years ago, I would just, like, the detergent I got was almost the exact same. It was the same brand. It just had some extra additives, and the only real indicator was like a little round, about this size, like, emblem on it indicating that it had some other additions, and I don't even remember what they are at this point. But that was like that was the big difference is some little, like, symbol on it. It had some additional additives that I was sensitive to, and it was just, you know, my normal load of laundry that triggered it. Of course, this time becoming sensitive to the detergent that I've been using for years meant that even things that I hadn't washed, because, like, before, it was just like, okay, rewash everything with other detergent, and boom, I'm good. You know, I just need, you know, they start to go away and everything like that. And then I'm fine. This time I had to rewash everything, because now it's like, you know, my towels, my bedding, you know, things that I don't wash that often, like, you know, or like winter clothes would do it. So I had to wash everything. You know, clothes that I wear for, like, for, you know, nicer occasions, so I don't wear them very often. They just kind of, like, you know, hang up in my closet and stuff like that. Rewashed everything. So, it sucked. Like, I think I'm almost out of the bottle of detergent that I bought. The replacement stuff. So, it sucked. I highly recommend never getting hives. You know, if you're considering it, just don't. Don't get hives. All right, let's get to building. Meet the fan designer. Rob Vangenswinkel, Lego Ideas name Goose Store, from Belgium, is a school teacher, a children's book author, and when those careers aren't keeping him on his toes, he makes time for playing basketball games and building Lego sets. Like, you get a choice to choose hives. That's the joke. As a child, I used to play with Lego bricks a lot. My favorite theme was space. After visiting Legoland in Billund, Denmark with my son a few years ago, I rediscovered my love of building. To me, it's the perfect way to be creative. And I really like the Lego Ideas concept that anyone can become a designer. When I was young, I had a small vending machine I enjoyed playing with, and a few years ago, I thought it would be cool to create a Lego version of that dispenses minifigures. At first, my original minifigure prize machine submission gained a lot of support. I had designed it digitally, but I wasn't sure if the dispensing mechanism would work. I decided to build the machine with real bricks, as I suspected it didn't work properly. So back to the drawing board I went. Building the final version involved a lot of tinkering and tweaking. In the process, I even dismantled my old vending machine to study the dispensing mechanism. I think I must have tried at least 20 different versions before I got it right. It took almost 2 years and a lot of promotion on social media before the idea reached 10,000 votes. It was a long journey, and when it became clear that I was going to reach the goal, I was so happy. Then to see it become an actual set for everyone to enjoy is fantastic. As a fan, it's the closest you can get to your favorite brand. Thanks to everyone who supported the idea. Fan designer Rob with his brick-built vending machine. So it's very similar. It is very similar in design. Howdy, Sealan. How's it going? Yeah, I mean, if you're sensitive to some of the stuff, it's definitely, yeah, you wanna wash them when you get them. Small moments of joy. The classic red, round-topped vending machine is a nostalgic fixture that reminds us of carefree moments and simpler times. First invented in the early 1900s, these colorful little machines charmed their way into corner shops, amusement parks, malls, and movie theaters worldwide. They offer affordable little knickknacks and memorabilia, and you might even have spent your first allowance on a collectible trinket from one of these gleaming globes. There is a tangible simplicity to them. They instantly awaken a playful urge to drop a coin in the slot and turn the crank, as you cross your fingers, wishing that for that coveted prize to drop with a satisfying clink. So, what might be the perfect prize to include in a Lego vending machine? So here's the thing, like, in the US, this kind of gotcha machine where you get a trinket out of it, it'll be in this, I don't think that's super common. It's generally more that you get candy out of it, you know? You had to throw a shirt away that you've had for a while because apparently you've become allergic to whatever it was made from? Yeah, that's unfortunate. Collect all 16. LEGO minifigures have long delighted and surprised fans of all ages. With help from fans, we designed a unique new selection as prizes in this model. Each has its own story and a matching buddy, including the one of fan designer Rob, whose brick alter ego has teamed up with a creative representation of a LEGO designer. Others are new interpretations of fan favorites from different eras in LEGO history, from LEGO Space, Castle and Pirates, to Paradisa and Fabuland. Meet Bernard Bear and Ernie Elephant. We invited fans to vote for their favorite Space and Castle minifigure designs on the LEGO Ideas platform, and the poll became so popular that we decided to make both the winner and the runner-up for each. So it's probably, like, it may not have been the shirt itself, but it may have been the thread, and you'll notice that the shoulder, like, let's see if I can get this in. The shoulder is where it's stitched together, so that's going to rub a little bit more. I think, like, I definitely noticed that my hives started and were worse at places like that. So I think that's kind of like, you know, just the nature of it. Rob's model was straightforward. Turn the dial and a capsule would move through the machine and slide out the front gate. We wanted to see if we could add a coin slot, a standard vending machine feature. Complex functions are tricky, but the team took on the challenge. We created a prototype mechanism that required the insertion of a coin, a 2x2 round tile stack. Then we streamlined the mechanism and developed the model around it. The final model works similarly to real vending machines. When the dial is turned, a platter with a triangular opening, think of it as a pie with a missing piece, rotates. A capsule then drops into that opening and is pushed to a slide that leads to the front of the machine. One of the biggest challenges was developing a system that allowed the capsules to drop reliably and move through the machine without getting stuck. Capsules would get caught pressing against each other and prevent them from traveling through the machine. We tested solutions with half-sphere elements for the capsules, but the indents and outdents on these elements would get locked together. So we ended up designing new elements to help the capsule move smoothly through the machine. Finally, we reduced the height of the chamber ramp to bring the model closer to Rob's original vision and maintain the authentic proportions of a classic vending machine. We hope you enjoy the result. Yeah, so like it could have been the thread, it could have just been that is more likely to rub and irritate and stuff like that. There's a lot of things. Like it could still, it would still be some fabric element. Oh, neat. So it does show you that once these are together, it's got a little fingernail gap, and you can use a brick separator in there. That's cool. Alright, so we make the, let's go ahead and put the minifig together first so we can look at him. Like, I think for me, the first time I saw vending machines with, like, I mean, probably not the first time, but, like, it was still kind of a weird thing to see at anime conventions, vending machines with gacha in them, gachapon, just because I was so used to seeing ones with, just with candy kind of thing. Alright, so there he is. Let's make the vending machine. Pretty simple little build. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom on in. So here we have the vending machine. And here we have Rob himself. Okay, so we want to take it apart. Get the lid on. There we go. And they're not really tight in there. And this does make a cool little ball. Yeah, not a rogue AI. It's the new Saw movie. You know? The new Saw movie will just have, like, a giant vending machine with balls full of dismembered people inside. Remember vending that had stuff like bouncy balls, erasers, stickers, and stuff like that, but nothing like gacha figures? Yeah, I feel like that's just, like, much more of a non-American thing. Well, Cube was more traps. I mean, I guess maybe Saw. I've never seen the Saw movies, so what do I know? But I definitely associate them more with elaborate traps, trap rooms than. Anything else? But who knows? I haven't seen either of those movies in a really long time either, so. Look, its eyes. Now you can't unsee it. That's true. I mean, that is a point in its favor, but I'm not big on gore. You know, give me a good squib and stuff like that, and, you know, stuff that's just over the top and ridiculous, but I feel like most horror movies go for realism rather than ridiculous over the top. Which is kind of why I could watch the Cube movies, because that felt ridiculous and over the top as opposed to realistic gore. Lots of tiles in here. Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting this set. The minifigs are one of the things that I've been looking forward to getting. I should look to see if if their parts are available on Pick-a-Brick. Because I'd like to get more of the castle ones, that's for sure. Of course, I'm sure they'll be expensive. Edgy horrors bore the heck out of you? I mean, I wouldn't say that a lot of them are... I mean, I don't know enough about the Saw movies to know if I would consider them edgy or not. But yeah, I mean, like, the type of horror that I'm more into that I can enjoy watching more tends to be the, you know, existential horror kind of stuff. Stuff like, you know, The Thing, Alien. Everywhere seems to be getting earthquakes. Yeah, unfortunately my earthquake machine got a little out of control, so, you know, that's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, like, monster horror tends to be over the top, so... Am I tampering with the Earth Crystal again? I just moved a couple statues, that's all. The Thing from Another Planet, good choice classic horror movie. I mean, I will say, like, some of that is very impressive. Like the when they put the whole room on fire, I was very impressed by that. Bahamut, I learned everything from Kefka. That is why I moved the statues. Great, have doomed everyone. Woohoo! I was wondering why they hadn't filled in that little hole there. That explains Alt's wardrobe. Hey, look, I'm completely naked all the time. Except right now, you know, because I am wearing a shirt in my polymorph human form. I am, see? I got clothes on. At least a shirt. Gilded Tongue, I think you're mixing me up with a certain other dragon in the chat right now. Okay, and that goes right in here. There we go. It's true, I do have no dogs, nor cats. Again, that whole allergies thing. Alright, there we go. First bag is done. Spare parts. Yellow 1x1 tile, red 1x1 plate, black 1x1 cylinder plate, gray 1x1 quarter cylinder tile, gray 1x1 cylinder plate with underbar, and a silver 1x1 tile with a 5 print. Right, bag number 2. Gildatung, so am I. I cannot tell you how glad I am that I am feeling better, honestly. Like, I was miserable. I mean, honestly, not a rogue AI. It wouldn't even be that difficult if you, you know, work to level them up properly. Like, the biggest problem is just having one party member for the various parts where you have to, you know, separate into 3 parties. So here we have a teal, a classic space figure. Looks a little bit darker on camera. Don't worry, it is teal. And then we murder him. You weren't worried? Well, you should be. I don't know why, but, you know. Just because. I will definitely be interested to see what they do with these dome pieces in the future. I mean, maybe, but if you just maximize magic on all 3 of them, and then, like, you know, do judicious use of the economizer or something like that, well, I guess you probably wouldn't have the economizer then. But judicious use of MP and just, like, ultimate everything. Alright, here we have our pirate lady. Very nice torso. Very nice torso. And also a gunmetal gray gun, which is also nice. I think you can, because if you don't have Realm, I think you can climb the tower. I think you only need Realm to get Strago. But I haven't tried it, and I don't really have any desire, personally, to try it either, so, you know. Alright, there we go. Get another ball up there. A ball full of, murdered minifig. Alright, so these are 3x3 macaroni bricks, which I don't have too many of, so it's cool to get them in red. You've seen someone get the economizer without getting the rest of the tower? There you go. Yeah, you could probably do that too. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can build the characters, that's the thing. Very few of the characters are objectively bad at any particular thing if you just, like, focus on maxing stats with them. Yeah, I mean, the dual cast is nice, but the economizer is better, because you can just heal everyone, blast with magic. It doesn't even really matter how much you heal or how much you damage enemies with, as long as it's just a solid amount with the economizer. Yeah, Umaro is the, like, in terms of, I'm thinking it more in terms of mechanics. Umaro is the one character, and Gogo, actually. They're the ones who kind of, lack. But even Gogo, you know, he can learn magic, I think. Can he? Well, I'm not talking about their character. I'm talking about stats. Yeah, so Gogo can learn magic. So that does mean that, like, Umaro is the weakest character in that regard just because, like, there's so little that he can do. You can't bump up his strength through leveling, for example. Oh, Gogo can't... No, that's what I meant. Like, can he... I couldn't remember if Gogo could equip Magicite. If he can't equip Magicite, then you can't boost his stats through leveling. And that means that he will be forever weaker than the other characters. Yeah, it's more about the damage than the specific spells, though. Right, but the leveling, the stat gain through leveling is the more important thing. I have no idea what that means, Gilded Tongue. Go-Go is very specific. Like, I mean, he is... He's not the first Mimic, because I think, you know, the Mimic as a job was in Final Fantasy V, if I remember correctly. But he is very much a... Like, one of the big advantages of Go-Go is that you can have... With Go-Go, you can have... Oh, original character, do not steal. With Go-Go, you can have a second person that can do any of the unique abilities that are in the game. And that's actually nothing to sneeze at. Alright, so spare parts. We got a gold epaulette, black 1x1 plate, and a gunmetal gray pistol. Very nice. Alright, bag number 3. Umaro does decent damage, and in any place that that has creatures weak to ice, he has a purpose as well. The problem is that, like, with Umaro and, like, when you go into the final dungeon, if you've gotten all the characters, you have 2 extras. And I think that's actually a bad design. Like, I think that's actually a legitimately bad design. I think when you go into the final area, if you've recruited everyone, then you should have everyone. Okay, so we have our Viking-esque minifig. Oops, that's the wrong way. There we go. Are 6 and 7 the only ones with secret characters? I mean, there's secret jobs in 5. I don't know, like... Not all of the games have extra characters kind of thing. Like... And Red Hyena subscribed. 33 months. Thank you very much. Good to see me back. It's good to be back. All right, so here is our... I think this is a castle figure. I think this is supposed to be a castle figure. He's got a brown Viking helmet, which is interesting. And he's got a shield with an octopus on it. Also, octopus on his tabard and armor. So a pretty neat figure. Dark green shield. Dark green face mask. And he's got a eye patch, so works well for a pirate minifig as well. So now we murder him. Dismember him. Put his parts in his coffin. There we go. The whip, the best weapon in D&D? What? Unless you mean aggravating your enemies by saying, I'm coming at you with a whip. And they say, whip? No, a whip. You have to get the H sound in there. If you don't, you just constantly barrage them with whip until they give up and run away. Wish Ald wasn't putting them in the balls so we could see them all in the end. Well, I mean, I can, since I've opened the box now. Okay, that's upside down. Hold on. See? You see all the minifigs. I meant very sarcastically. That's fair. That is fair. Ah. I bumped one of the lights, I think. I was like, it feels darker. Why does it feel darker? Did one of mine go out? Oh no, I just bumped it. I'm seeing you. I was just commenting on other things. I did miss the pun. Okay, these are relatively new slopes. I think I talked about them before. They have big 6 by 8 slopes, and this is the same slope for it, just as a 1 by. Size. And it's not a tile slope because these are textured. We are listening to our Suikoden playlist right now. Oh yeah, whips do no damage, basically. At least in AD&D. I don't know about later editions. They might do 1d2, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, 3 inverted half arches in black, and then 2 in gray. I should definitely look up what whips can do in AD&D. I haven't really looked into it in great depth. Could be something fun to play with. Send an enemy against the players who uses a whip, kind of thing. That's true. Where there's a whip, there's a way. You only recall 3 E-whips, which gives a disarm feat for free. Yeah, there might be a bonus to doing disarm maneuvers with whips in combat and tactics. I'd have to look at it. I mean, honestly, like, giving Rydia whips is kind of a newbie move, honestly. Because if you give her a rod, her magic stat goes up. I mean, I certainly gave her whips back when I was a kid, because you couldn't see those other modifications from the equip screen. Otherwise, I probably would have given her rods. I love surprising people with the fact that you can use the original rod, the basic rod, as an item. That is definitely Rydia's best damage output at the beginning of the game. Well, it depends on how high you level her, Bahamut. If Rydia needs to use attack, something has gone wrong. Well, I mean, like, when you're just dealing with random encounters, there's nothing wrong with the, just attacking. Get a little bit of damage in. And that is an advantage of whips over rods, is that she will get more damage in, and she can paralyze sometimes. Because I think all of the whips have a chance of paralyzing. Yeah, but how many people actually get level up to 99? I don't think I've ever leveled everyone up to 99 in Final Fantasy IV. I have in 6 and 8. Well, yeah, I knew you had Bahamut, but I said how many? Remember futzing with SNES U7 for a bit, and the only weapons you could find were whips, so the Avatar was double fisting some Indiana Jones? Like, honestly, the only reason I got to level 99 in 8 originally was because it was so easy to do. And then realizing that's a really bad idea. I done goofed. Of course, it was made worse by the fact that I didn't level everyone. Actually, that's the thing, is I didn't level everyone up to 99 in 8. I only leveled my active party, the characters that I liked using. That was even more of a mistake. Like most Final Fantasy games, it does take a really long time to grind up that high. Yeah, but you don't know that when you're playing the game brand new, just released. Not looking at a FAQ. Like, despite the differences in mechanics, you still, like, tend to play the games, normally. Irving? No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I did not like Irving. I think my main party was Squall, Renoa, and Selfie. Lord Kane is subscribing. 21 months. Nice. Thank you very much. Oh, I know of people who love Irving. And I'm not saying they shouldn't or anything. I just didn't. I feel like I've missed something, but I have not. No. Okay. Why are they putting Tifa in and not Zell, not Arogai? You need to ask yourself that? Seriously? Why are they putting in one of the most popular characters and not one of the least? Which is no dig on people who like him. But let's face it, he's not one of the more popular characters. Alright, spare parts. We've got a black Technic bushing and a dark green bandana face mask, which is nice to get an extra of. He doesn't breast as boobily as Tifa, exactly. No, I understand that you were joking. I'm just saying, like... Your favorite innate was Laguna, but I mean, does feel like that whole game would have been improved if it was about his life. So, I actually disagree with that today. Back then, I think I would have agreed, because I think that was, you know, like, that appeals more to the adventure, you know, spirit. But the thing about Final Fantasy VIII is that's not a game for teenagers. As much as the characters are all teenagers, that is not a game for teenagers. That isn't a game. That is a game for adults and or middle-aged people, like those who are closer to middle age. Like that game very much does not hit the same when you're a child versus someone in their 30s or 40s. All right, so here is our gold classic spaceman. With a similar tool to the classic space tools. Gold classic space. And this isn't quite the same piece that they used to have, but it is similar. I like the other one. I like the classic one better. I'll have to pull some of those out sometime. But the trans green right there is classic. Still wants time travel magic the same. Well, what I mean is, like, the game is really, in large part, about how Squall feels. And when you're a kid, you don't really get what his feelings really mean. Like, it is a game that hits very, very different when you've gotten into your 30s or 40s. And you can look back at how you felt back then with the understanding of being an adult. It is very, very different. Okay, we got an ad running. I'm going to wait to make the other minifig until the ad break is done. Because again, like, the game was written by people in those age groups. You know, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s. And they were thinking about themselves when they were that age. And that's not something that someone who is that age thinks about. Don't get me wrong, a game that is following Laguna's life would be a lot of fun. It's just that, like, it really would hit differently. I mean, I enjoyed the game's story back when I played it, but I was kind of like getting into the sci-fi elements of it and stuff like that, and not thinking about, like, the emotional story elements of it. Just like you, Squall would have done a lot better with mental health medication rather than being a child soldier bred to kill your principal's ex-wife. Oh, you experienced that too, huh? I mean, I actually don't think that... Like, I actually don't think that Squall, like what's going on with Squall is particularly mental health issues. I mean, some of it, yeah, maybe. I mean... But I think most of it is just the awkwardness of youth. He may have. Like, that is the one thing that he may have. I could see that. Okay, let's go back to make the other minifig now that the ad break is finished. So this is a fun one. Let's get our sunglasses on. But like, I think it could be argued more that Squall, rather than depression, is more just dealing with kind of some fairly standard social awkwardness stuff. That's not really a mental health depression thing. Like, issues of self-worth and feelings of inadequacy and stuff like that that are not, yeah, disaffection, alienation, stuff, stuff that's pretty common among the youth. That's really a lot about growing up and, becoming an adult. And while still having some elements of childhood there that haven't gone away and stuff like that, and just trying to adjust to what is like a new phase of life. Now, again, like, where's the line between that and depression and stuff like that? There really isn't a hard line. Some of these things are very much just, takes an actual expert to figure it out and stuff like that. So here we have a reference to the Paradisa line of sets, which are fantastic. They had great Art Deco and Art Deco designs and stuff like that. I love those sets. I wish I had more of them. You can see the Paradisa logo there. She has a 92 on her back. Little bikini bottoms. Her camera, which is not a camera that they would have had back then. A parrot in a color that they wouldn't have had back then, because this is like swirled, which I like. I really like. But very cool. But the sunglasses are definitely reminiscent, although the old ones would have just been pure black. It is. It is. It very much is Lel Bunny. Well, I wouldn't say it's typical. But it is a coming-of-age story. I would say it's more of an atypical coming-of-age story. Obviously with some pretty heavy science fiction and fantasy elements. Which is part of what makes it atypical. There we go. So many balls. Alright, and we were here and here. There we go. Oops, I need to zoom out. Sorry. There we go. I got these two plates on there. These on here. Like, because there's a lot of things going on in Squall's mind in the game. And the game is kind of unique that way in giving you that insight into his mind that you really don't get with all of the characters. Like, you really only get that with the other characters when they're in the bodies of Laguna and company. But it's definitely, like, it is very much a game that I did not appreciate, like, truly appreciate when I originally played it. And appreciated it far, far more when I played it recently as an adult. And I'm not saying that, you know... Like, when did that game come out? 99? Was it 99 or was it 2000? I think it was 99. So yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people would have played it in when they were late teens, early adults kind of thing. And I definitely think it's harder to appreciate it at those ages. Alright, anything else? No. Oops. Get out. Don't get stuck in there. Yeah, I thought it came out in 99. And I think seeing it as a game for teenagers is actually to its detriment. You dislike the salary system for money, had to wait around to get cash for stuff, and the grade kept degrading. There were only so many quizzes to bump it up. I mean, but you could sell things for money, though. That wasn't the only way to get money. That was just an automatic method of getting money. But I'm not. But again, like, yeah, I mean, there's going to be like some systems that aren't great. I don't think that the junctioning system and the leveling system was very good. But that's not really on the story. I'm very specifically talking about the story. Alright, so we got one of these cog-type elements. Get it there. I think it's just more of a... It's an interesting design that didn't work as intended and is far more exploitable than they intended. That's the thing. Alright, spare parts. We've got a clear 1x1 cylinder tile, a gray 1x1 tile, dark gray 1x1 plate, and a black friction pin. Like, I think if you had a standard Final Fantasy game, or relatively standard Final Fantasy game, mechanic-wise, with that story, I think people would remember it better, and want to play it more. You know, like, be more likely to want to play it as an adult and experience the appropriate time to play it. That's fair. Not a rogue AI. Final Fantasy VIII. What us millennials and Gen Xers think of when we hear aura farming. It's true. You're not wrong. So, fun thing about these globe elements is that they are 5x5. So you got 5 studs there, and they're exactly equal to that. So these are 5 spaces away. You could put a 1x3. I guess you can't get it right in there because of these little support elements, but here we have another castle minifig. I could definitely get behind more of these legs and torsos. Yes, it'll line up to technicals and a beam because, in fact, like here we have like technicals. While the standard beams are, you know, they're centered between studs. They're still spaced as studs are. But here is a 5L half beam. There we go. See? Fits exactly. And that would be how you'd attach it to the side. Like if you wanted to put this on a spaceship or something like that, you know, you could attach them that way. So we got Griffin Knight here. Let's find my cursor and zoom on in on him. So this is a really nice minifig. I would love to get like more of the torso and legs, and then like put different helmets on. Like this guy feels a bit more like a knight, but I think with the torso and legs and different helmets, you could feel like this would be an infantryman or something like that. If you got the right helmets, this might even feel a bit more like a someone with lamellar armor. Even though these are clearly scales rather than lamellars. Well, there are umbrella pieces. I'd actually say, like, one slight problem with these, and I know why they didn't do it for this set, but the fact that there's no attachment point right here does mean that, like, you can't use these as, like, I mean, unless you can, like, slip something in here to connect them. There are, like, these fuel elements on a lot of spaceships that are just like spheres like this. And without an attachment point right here, you can't, there's no real way to attach a whole sphere like that. Right, but again, like the part of the problem with using one as an umbrella, you could definitely make an interesting roof type thing with it. But the fact that there's no attachment point here to get like an actual umbrella means that you're attaching from the side. Now you could make a thing where it's like I could see like a fancy futuristic public telephone. Like, imagine building up a console element right here with a phone, and then this overhangs it, so it's like to protect someone speaking on the, you know, futuristic video phone, public video phone, from rain. Like, that would be kind of neat. I could see that. I mean, like, they are necessarily limited in their connection points. That is unfortunate, but, I mean, there's definitely things that you can do with them. I do look forward to seeing what people do with them. And you could always use one part and make a kind of a brick-built bottom or something like that. There are other pieces that are roughly 5L, 5 wide. William Gibson, I certainly did not foresee the extinction of public phones in my Neuromancy trilogy. No one did. I mean, partly it's because no one really thought that you'd be able to get a computer with a nice, good-looking screen that small that would fit in your pocket, kind of thing. I mean, even looking at something like Total Recall, which did have did predict video calling. You know, it still had a small CRT TV screen on it, not like a flat screen. Was that before Aliens? That was definitely not before Aliens. At least, well, the original story was, but I don't know that that element is from the original story. We can remember it for you wholesale. From the same author who brought you Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, a.k.a. Blade Runner. Well, yeah, I mean, like, Star Trek had video calling, but you're also on a spaceship as opposed to, Get out of here, bug. Oh, no, Aliens rather than Alien. Right. Sorry. I always get that mixed up, just because the only difference is one letter. That's true, it did. But I don't know that those are public phones. It's besides the point. Aliens was in 86, I think, and Total Recall was 93 or so. Maybe it was 91 or something like that. It was the early 90s. Yeah, I have very poor memory of that part of the movie as well. Oh, 1990. There you go. I was off by a couple years. Part of it is, like, Arnold had, like, a run of movies in the early 90s where, like, there was a blockbuster Arnold movie every year for a number of years, I think, until Last Action Hero, which kind of ended it. Yeah, even Star Trek, the communicators aren't, like, they're a hyper specific thing. They don't have any extra ability. I do love how there's been, like, they had to put in some, like, lore explanations for why, by the, at the original series point, they were back on magnetic tapes. Star Trek communicators were more like very powerful walkie-talkies. Yeah, I mean, like, it could be, it could still be seen as a computer that just does one thing. But yeah, it did one thing. It was hyper-specific. Because that's what you got in that day and age. Everything only did one thing. This is a very, very weird mechanism here. Like, look at all of these axles and stuff. I have no idea what this is going to be doing at all, because there's no moving parts on this. Well, okay, I guess this does. And there is specifically a rubbery connector down here. Which, nothing connects onto that, does it? No. Oh, I heard something about some publishers wanting to update some like young adult books that were written in like the early 2000s, and they're trying to update them to more modern times by replacing references to TV to like references to TikTok and stuff. But it leads to some pretty hilarious examples when like. The original book was, hey, come over and watch Survivor with me or something like that. And they've changed it to, hey, come over and watch this really cool TikTok I found. Like anyone would go to someone else's house to watch a really cool TikTok. So when I was a kid, I read a lot of the Hardy Boys books. And I appreciated the era that they were set in. TikTok and chill, yeah. This is an interesting gear. It's a 20-tooth gear. Just the light azure color of it. Yeah, things don't need to be updated. Like, that's the thing. If you're worried that kids are gonna be like, oh, I don't want to, they're talking about things that I don't know. You just say, like, this is set at what year it's set. And, like, reading Hardy Boys books and watching, like, Nick at Night and stuff like that helped me to understand previous eras of things that, didn't exist when I was, that had changed by the time that I was reading them. That's a good thing, actually. Yeah, at least, like, when Ted Turner got that backlash for colorizing movies, what he decided to do was like, okay, you're right, I screwed up. Have Turner Classic Movies now, which is a fantastic, fantastic channel, if you still have cable, which you may not. Oh no, you're learning history, I know. Admittedly, some of those Hardy Boys books were also pretty racist. Some of the original ones. But the other thing is, like one of the interesting things that they did, and it's better than updating a book, but it's not necessarily still the best thing that you should do. Although in some cases, I'm kind of okay with it. Is that they rewrote. So like, if you go out and read the third Hardy Boys books now, that's not the actual one that was published back when it came out. They've actually rewritten it. Sometimes, you know, I did get to read a few of the ones, and they're very different. Like they're completely different. Sometimes that's good because, like I said, some of those early ones were pretty racist. and for a book, you know, aimed at young people and stuff like that, yeah, kind of okay with that. we don't need this racist crap there. Well, I mean, not a rogue AI, you'd also have to have cable in addition to a TV. So also a limiting factor. But definitely one of the greater cable channels. If you have cable, highly recommend Turner Classic Movies. If that racism isn't paralleling a like actual racism, I mean, I don't. When was Redwall written? '90s? Yeah, I mean that's not going to have the same kind of like ethnic slurs against Chinese and Italians as some of those early Hardy Boys books had. And they're all animals too, so like the thing is like a dog and a cat are different. Oh, Romany? Okay, yeah, that's yeah. But, like, those are, I mean, like, they're all animals, right? I've never read the Redwall books. Like, it's anthropomorphic animals, right? $5L and $4L half beams here. $5L here. I think it's all animals. Yeah. So I mean, like, if what's going on is mostly about actual real differences between animals, like, you know, a bear is bigger than a dog. I don't think it quite fits the same. It's not the same thing. Each based off of various cultures. Okay, yeah, I can see how that could be. Yeah, I mean that gets into more problematic. That can get into more problematic areas. Like, I don't see something like ogres are big and strong. Like, that's not like an equivalent to racism, in my opinion, because ogres are physically bigger and stronger. Oh, there it is. I was looking for that. For some reason, there is a human-sized barn in the first book an owl lives in. probably one of those don't question it elements. Just don't question it. Yeah, I mean, if there's, like, you know, an overt comparison to, like, real human world cultures and stuff like that, then that would definitely be bad. And I think that most of D&D avoids that. Okay, this whole complex mechanism goes right in here. It does rest on this plate, which is interesting because, I thought that would be, Oh, that's right. Okay, so the holes on Technic bricks are actually a very slight bit higher than the studs on a side stud. And I'm trying to remember how much that is. It's very, very slight. But it is the height of the Lego logo. Okay, so we had that that kind of loose, that rubber element that was that's too wide, and that is to create a catch system. So, like, as you turn this, like, I can't turn it this way, but I can turn it this way because this is sloped. They're, like, I mean, they are species, and I think that it is correct to change the name to species. I think the uproar is more, like, some of the uproar is just an element of, there are people out there who get a lot of views based on anger, so it is in their best interest to be angry about everything. That's some of it. There's some legitimate stuff. Definitely Wizards of the Coast has had some mistakes and missteps on that and stuff like that. But, like, I have heard people talk about things and, like, about old editions, and I'm like, yeah, or like, they'll say, coming from a 5e perspective, and they'll talk about, like, all the earlier editions in the same light, and I'm like, no, like, 2e is explicitly not that like that. And even 1e is only, like, at best vaguely like that. I have to correct a lot of people about 2e misconceptions. And you can certainly find people who play a certain way where that's not, like, the actual material written. Stupid text messages from spammers. So I do end up having to do a lot of corrections in that regard. Oh yeah, there was a pretty bad 3rd edition article that it was optional, but people have conflated it with, like, the actual material as intended and stuff like that, that really made Dark Elves kind of physically disgusting. And like, people would hear about that and then assume that all of the old material was that was canon for everything before, like, 5e, or maybe 4e. Nutarogi, not even on this, like, so much worse than that. Not even on the same level. I don't like Ceramorphosis for some very specific reasons, but as its own thing, it's okay. Like, I don't like it because that's not how Illithids were presented earlier. That's one of the reasons why I don't like it. But as its own thing, standing apart from everything else, it's okay. But this stuff was real bad. And it was optional. It was specifically intended to... it really was specifically intended to create a situation where you as players of your character, you and your characters, are perfectly okay to just slaughter Dark Elves, Drow. Perfectly okay. It was to justify that. And, like, it's bad. This was in Dragon, yes. Okay. There we go. That turns around. All right, so spare parts. A very cool spare part. We got an extra silver helmet. We got a spare Gladius in silver. Beige 3/4 pin. Yellow 1x1 cylinder plate. And gray half bushing. There we go. This is new to you? Good. Lord Canis, good. I would, like, you know, if you want to read the article, go for it. I can link you to it, or like give you a what issue it's in after the stream. I can't remember right now. It's really bad. It's a really, really bad article. You want the set? It's a very good one, Duke Darkwood. It's a very, very good one. Yeah, I'll let you know what issue it's in. Like, first edition has some, like, nods at making monsters, you know, normal creatures within their context and stuff like that, but it didn't go into a whole lot of depth. But you got that in a lot of the magazines. And second edition really made a big point of that. In the monster entries, it very specifically worked on treating monsters as, you know, ordinary creatures, essentially, for the most part. You know, trying to give them ecologies and how they interact with their world around them and stuff like that. And third edition kind of pulled back on that. All right, so here is our Fabuland figure. This is actually a hoodie, and he's wearing a bear hat. and that is the Fabuland logo, which has been excised from the Fabuland cauldrons. You can kind of see it. Next time I have a cauldron, I'll pull one out and show it. It's hilarious. But yeah, I really do need to get some Fabuland figures one day. I love them. They're great. And he is wielding a tool, yes. He has a wrench. I honestly wish that they would bring back Fabuland. I think Fabuland would be so much fun. There we go. Got another ball up there. Next up is we have another of the Castle-y, piratey octopus guys. Except this one is an octopus gal. Same torso, of course. But instead of a whip, she has a saber. See, lady. It's a smirking lady face. Same torso, same dark green shield. Very nice. I do love how this set has more minifigs than a standard release of collectible minifigs. It's not a kraken, it's an octopus. Maybe they're just really big fans of a particular James Bond movies. There we go. One random thing from listening to a modern D&D person talking about magic and D&D. When did the Gith group start as humans? No, they were humans from the beginning. I think later material kind of pulled back on that, but they started out as humans in the in first and second edition. When would they have seen that as Vikings? That's what time travel's for, sir. Okay. Yeah, I believe their introduction had them as originally humans. I mean, incidentally, the introductory adventure, the adventure that introduced Dro, had them as you could, as a random encounter, that you could encounter rebellious dark elven youths who were part of a movement and who were not evil. So, the idea that dark elves were always inherently evil, literally not in the original material. Nope, one was definitely not named Drist. Because that was on Oerth, not in the Forgotten Realms. Drizzle. But yeah, I mean, like, Drist himself had a precedent in the material, so... You miss playing D&D? Well, Lord Canis has been trying to get a game going for a while. Talk to him. See if there's a time that you two can work out and play together. Invite other people in. As I totally volunteer someone to play, to run a game. I was talking about not within the material, like I was talking about the material as opposed to. Oops. Like, not within the lore, but within the context of the published material. They were introduced in Dro of the Underdark, in the Forgotten Realms book, Dro of the Underdark. Oh, okay, so this should squeeze that back, okay. There we go. Interesting. I thought that maybe putting something in there would push it in. No, Veron is not good. He is rebellious. He is, like, one of the reasons why I don't like talking about the Dark Seldarin is that, like, as if they were a comprehensive, complete group kind of thing, is that 3 of the major deities, like 4 of the major deities, are essentially rarely found within the same community peacefully. I think that was 4E that did that, Lord Canis. I think that originally came out of 4E. 4E did a lot of stuff like that. It amuses you that the good one predates the evil one? Well, I mean, you already had an evil one. Lolth. Ah, gotcha. I don't actually know 5E that well, so... There's a reason why I, My D&D history ends at a very certain point. Around 1372 Dale Reckoning in Forgotten Realms time. Really cuts down on changes that I don't like. Yeah, she was the only one at the time. Although, like, I'd have to go back and look at some of this stuff. It's possible that there was talk of other cults, but I mean, like, you had like Gonadar and Forgotten Realms. The the Dark God, Elder Elemental God, Jewelblex, stuff like that that you could also have. It amuses you that when they started expanding, they first did a good one. Like, I mean, I get it, but it makes kind of the most sense. Well, but Lord Canis, like, Veron was originally, like, because he's an outsider to the Lolth religion, the Lolth faith. And then if you get into the Forgotten Realms, then you also have Gonadar. And Kiaransali is only explicitly under Lolth's thumb in the demi-human deities, like by the time of demi-human deities. Right, but he's a major dark elven deity, Lord Canis. And, like, if you have a city that worships Lolth, you don't have open cults of Veron, Gonadar, or Ilastrae. If you have a city that where Veron's faith is powerful, you don't have open followings of the other three, etc., etc. Like, that's just what I mean. Is like, it's not like you get a situation where you have all these temples. You do have some cities where none of them are powerful enough to dominate. And that is someplace where you can have some of these additional faiths, like, present openly. But if there's a city where the power structure revolves around any one of those, then you don't have the others. Okay, let's get some of these. Now we're doing 2. One of the nice things about campaign settings is that all the lore is written for you already. Well, not all, but a lot of it. Cuts down the workload for a dungeon master. That's what I like about existing settings. Okay, there we go. So we got some curved elements there, kind of. Bahamut's ex-wife? What? Oh, did they make Tiamat into Bahamut's ex-wife in some... Yeah, I don't recall that. I mean, that's certainly not the lore in 1E and 2E. They're still siblings? Okay, good. I don't like them being like the uber dragon gods, though. I really liked the monster mythology material that basically was like, they're actually kind of minor. It creates a situation where, like, when you're outside of a culture, you can get misperceptions of what that culture is like. I really liked that. Am I going to get the Toy Story Alien set? Maybe. It's not high on the list. We'll put it that way. If I do get it. Yeah, but they like the first level. But that was also like later material kind of altered that so that all she is really doing is guarding access to the lower levels. And again, like describing it as a misperception of, though, you know, like of mortals. Don't really understand what's going on, kind of thing. We do know empirically that Tiamat can be fooled by a rug stretched over a hole in the floor. I think the Tiamat of the cartoons is a very, very minor avatar. Probably one trapped on that plane or prime material plane, prime world, and reduced in intelligence. I mean, Sardior was barely in the lore for most of the time, anyway. I really like what I did with him, though. You're referencing the Sumerian myth where Tiamat is the saltwater and Abzu is the freshwater? Yeah, but, like, they should not be seen as the same, those two Tiamats. Because she's the Queen of Chaos. And D&D Tiamat is lawful evil. If that were true old, it would be an avatar that had its connection severed too? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, considering that the Dungeon Master there is pretty clearly a god. Alright, spare part. Only spare part is a saber. Dark Gray Saber. Oh, don't worry, Duke Darkwood. I didn't actually talk about IO. Didn't you know, Nadaroge AI, that they merged Bahamut and Marduk in later Forgotten Realms stuff? Terrible, El Bunny. All right, we get another Paradisa figure here. Yeah, not many things that I hate more than that, Lord Canis, honestly. I really, really despise that. All right, there we go. All right, here's our other Paradisa guy. He has a ice cream cone and a margarita glass. He has the same torso, Paradisa torso, and the same bikini briefs. So he's wearing a Speedo. Guy looks like he's going to a pride parade. Welcome to Paradisa. Paradisa was kind of accidentally very prideful. For a moment, you thought he was wearing Daisy Dukes. No, I'd say he's definitely wearing a Speedo. There we go. Who wears short shorts? I mean, he could be a Japanese schoolboy in uncomfortably short shorts. Hey, at least he's not wearing Joe Namath slingshot, netted slingshot brief. Be happy. He was kept back a few times. Mystery Science Theater 3000 reference. Everything's better with those. Joe Namath netted slingshot briefs. That's what it is. That's the MST3K reference. You were happily ignorant? Hey, don't blame me. Blame yourself or God. You're wondering if we'll ever get a minifigure wearing whatever Zardoz did? I doubt it. Very, very, very much doubt it. Oops. That said, now I'm extremely tempted to try to do a minifig, like that giant head and Zardoz, and well, not Zardoz, Sean Connery's character, whose name I don't remember. And then submit that to Lego Ideas. I doubt it will get. I doubt it would get. I doubt it would be allowed on. We'll put it that way. Yes, Duke Darkwood. It is something like that. Alright, I need something on the front to turn. Okay, that is coming apart. Why is that coming apart now? I missed something. No? I'm very confused. Did I do something incorrect here? I did. I did. Okay. This is actually turned that way. I don't know why I had such a hard time seeing that. Kinchier, just stopping by for a few minutes to recharge from socializing. All right, hopefully I can recharge you quite well. There we go. There we go. We are doing pretty well tonight, other than that error. Had this facing out rather than in, but now it is correct. Okay. Yes, it will. Because now I cannot turn it anymore. This is the coin. Push it in. There we go. And then you lose the coin. Well, I mean, don't do that. Just don't. If you're considering it, just don't. Howdy, Shield of Hope. How's it going? Rhubarb. Again, another MST3K reference. All right, now we got the curved cutout 4x4s. All right, then more of the 1x6 slopes. And another large curved macaroni. There we go. Another large curved macaroni. 1x6. 1x6. 2x2. Or 1x2, 1x2, and 3x3. There we go. Now to fill out this part here. Use the wrong one down here. This should have been a black one. 3x3 corner plate. There we go. There we go. Okay, then over here, blue 1x1 quarter cylinder tile, another blue 1x1 quarter cylinder tile, and a third one. Okay, lots of 1x2 jumper plates. Three more on each side. 1x1 tiles with round ends. Alright, and round top pieces. I think this is these are here to prevent the balls from like getting stuck on these plate parts. Okay. That goes on there. Locks in there. One by 8 brick there. And we tile up the front. Right, get that off. A little bit easier to do it this way. Okay, there we go. Nice and tiled in front. And then we make the crank. That angle facing up looks like a futuristic house. Or a bit of a face. Eye, nose, mouth. Now you can't unsee it. There we go. And we have our coin right there. Okay, I seem to have missed some place for this. That has two. Alright, hold on. One, two. One, two. Oops. Okay, I do see where I screwed it up. That should be in there. There we go. There we go. Just for a little bit of extra support. Alright, so spare parts. 1x1 quarter cylinder tiles in blue and black. 1x1 tile with round end in gray. White saucer. Dark gray 1x1 cylinder plate. And a pink ice cream poop piece. Hey, there are never spare green dragons, sir. They are all necessary parts of a set. Alright, put those there. Let's get our parts for the gacha ready. Let's get our minifig parts. Alright. Okay, first up is another knight. A lady knight this time. Doesn't have a different weapon, which is kind of a shame, I think. Something like a spear wouldn't have worked too well, though. We could have given her a mace. There we go. So we got a lady knight. And now let's go ahead and dismember her and put her inside the gacha bauble. And this is why we didn't get a spear, because it wouldn't have fit. There we go. Now look, ladies like to crush skulls just as much as the next guy. Don't take that away from her. Alright, we got another teal classic spaceman. This time with coffee and a donut. Do not ask how he gets that into his body. Just don't. Spears are better weapons? In what context? It's not Benny, because Benny's blue. This is teal. I wish I'd gotten the one with the pink classic space minifig. That was a Lego Movie set. Or Lego Movie 2 set. There we go. He is now appropriately dismembered. In the context of your opinion of all weapons? Psh. Psh. Maces are fun. That's how you crush skulls. Did I tell you about the first time that the Greek and Roman soldiers faced each other? The Romans using swords and the Greeks using spears. Right, and I have to do this 3 times, actually. Oh yeah, I did put up a new goal, by the way, so if you want to see Neuschwanstein Castle, that's our new goal. Spears won because they were a superior weapon? Well, let me put it this way. It is the origin of the term Pyrrhic victory, because it was Pyrrhus of Epirus who faced the Romans. And we have records of the aftermath. Specifically, that... like, the origin is that, like, Pyrrhic victory comes from a statement along the lines of, if we have another victory like that, we will not last long, or something like that. And the reason is because the Greeks beat the Romans. However, the Greeks suffered pretty grievous injuries. Because they were used to fighting with spears, which, you know, poke holes in, you know? Hole about maybe this big, you know, like that. Slice, small cut insertion. So if it doesn't hit anything vital, relatively easy to treat. The Romans, of course, used swords, which, you know, leaves big gashes. So the injuries were far worse a lot more than they were used to. A lot more soldiers died afterwards from their injuries than they were used to. Yes, Pyrrhus of Epirus. Hence Pyrrhic victory. Also, the Romans went home and reevaluated their tactics, came back, and next time they fought, the Romans won pretty handily. Alright, there we go. Got all of those tiles on. Now we get all of the curved slopes. What happened to Teutoburg? I mean, that's a completely different fight much later. The Romans were led poorly, for one thing. They were fighting in a forest that, hence Teutoburg Forest, which is not their forte. And they were fighting against Germanics, for whom it was their forte. And there were other issues as well. I believe their backs were up to a river that they couldn't cross back across, kind of thing. It's been a while since I've read about Teutoburg Forest, so. Alright, and there we go. Got all the curved slopes. Before we put them on, let's just go ahead and get rid of the donut 1x1 cylinder tile with donut print. There we go. Okay. May have, I don't recall. Like, again, it's been a while since I read about it. There we go. So we've got our sides covered. And we just need to get some bits on there. Okay. Bag number 9. Alright, so we got another pirate guy. Only has a saber as an accessory, which is kind of a shame. Should have more accessories. But here is our pirate. This is the newer bandana piece. The old one had a lot more texture on the front. This is very smooth. If you turn it like that, it basically is almost entirely smooth until you get up to like the crown. He's got a jacket over his striped shirt. All right, now let's go ahead and dismember the minifig. Get in there. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay. Just one of these. Oh, I know why they're not doubling up. I had to think about it for a second. Oops. It's a good assortment of minifigs. It really is. We haven't even gotten the second Fabuland figure yet either. Alright, so that goes on there. Then... if only we could get them to release an official Fabuland AT-AT set. That would be pretty awesome. Okay, then we get 2 of these brackets. Oh yeah, something that I meant to mention. I did go see The Adolescence of Utena, the Revolutionary Girl Utena movie that G-Kids had a limited engagement, put it back in theaters for 2 showings, but they came close to selling out at my local theater, so they added a 3rd showing. That's why I couldn't stream on Wednesday, because the other 2 were like way too crowded for me. I would have gone to them if they hadn't been so crowded, but yeah, I just did not want to deal with the crowds. It was very, very nice to see traditional cel-animated anime on the big screen. Really nice. And apparently they're bringing the first Evangelion movie to theaters, I heard. I don't know if I'll see that. Remember trying to install Windows 95 from floppy disks? Oh yeah. Yeah, I've done that before too. 'Tis fun times. It was like an old computer that didn't have a working CD drive or something. At a work site. This does not stay in very well. So one of the reasons why it doesn't stay in very well is because these are not full studs on the circles, so they're not gripping as well against the anti-studs on the plates there. So hopefully there will be something that will go on top of this. I assume so, but who knows? One of those early floppy installs for Microsoft product caused one of my friends to coin the term the Microsoft Minute. When you have a product that it says like X minutes remaining, please insert the next disk, and then you insert it, and the number goes up. And the minutes remaining goes up. He called that the Microsoft Minute. Okay, that will hold that in better. I think it specifically came from something that was like 1 minute remaining, please insert the next disk, and then it was like 4 minutes remaining or something like that. I also remember trying to download stuff in the early internet when it took literal hours. Yeah, I got the expansion Core Contingency for Total Annihilation. My friend and I did. It took us like a day to download it because it was split across floppy disks. And I mean, like, it was like due out on Monday, and we got it like Friday. So we had a blast playing it the weekend before, and then we both did buy it. So it was really just a, we're playing this early as opposed to pirating. But that was a blast. I should do an LP of the campaign modes of Total Annihilation at some point. Okay, this goes on here. Saw a story where someone was downloading something that took almost an entire night, and then a phone call ended the download. Oh, yeah. Or when someone would pick up the phone. There's a reason why we got a second line when internet access actually became relatively inexpensive. Okay, we get some flex tubing in here. And then that second line became a DSL line. And then it became Fios. Oh no, we never got a second. We never got calls on that second line. Then again, we didn't have a phone hooked up to it, so who knows. Okay, now we got a black hot dog and a triangular sign. That goes right in there. All right. Okay, so spare parts. We've got a, I think this is a 9L, yeah, 9L black pneumatic flex tube, a black hot dog, and a red 1x1 cylinder plate. Yeah, but I don't think they, like, back then, I don't think they could know that, unless they just, like, cold called, I don't think they would know that a phone number was in operation. Unless it was published in a phone book or something. Don't tell me what to do, Nadaroge. I will cook the way that I want to cook. Can't stop me. It's my hot dog. I'll burn it if I want to. All right, Seelan, have a good rest of your night. I do think that I will be streaming tomorrow some more Lego building. Just FYI. So unless I wake up and I'm just like really... Oops, don't want to make him yet. That's fine, we'll just do that. Making him. Unless I'm just like really feeling out of it when I wake up. And we'll stream again tomorrow. All right, and here is our Elephant Fabuland figure. Same torso as the other. She has a mug. She also has a hearing aid. And this is a dual molded elephant hat. Grab the thing, please. You gonna take advantage of some nice weather and finally get your back porch settled for the summer. Probably rather get your back porch settled for the summer, huh? Don't ask me what a back porch would be, but. Yeah, I'd have to think about what some of the other Fabuland figures were to make Fabuland versions using those heads. Too high maintenance for that kind of money. I love that we're getting classic smileys, though. We are getting another color of Classic Space minifig in the working pinball machine, though. That's pretty cool. So another classic tool for a classic spaceman, walkie-talkie. Then we got another gold classic space minifig. So let's see, we have two Paradisa. We've got the designer and a Lego designer. The fan designer and the Lego designer. We've got two pirate figs, two Fabuland figs, then 4 classic space, and 4 pirate figs. 4 castle figs. Good number of figs. I was kind of surprised at the amount. Oh, interesting. These are really fascinating pieces. So in paper bags so that they avoid getting scratched. Man, this would make for an awesome, like, Art Deco corner. Oh, that's so nice. Because the this is the same 4x4x6 part, but there's no 1x4x6 panels. You either have to use two 1x4x3s or like, as the original designer did, 1x6x5, and then like do some other shenanigans. But man, these would make for some excellent Art Deco corners. Okay, then we get some clear 1x2 plates. I am getting architecture ideas. Then we have clear 4x4 macaroni tiles. There was a Lego Ideas contest a while back. That's what my I did a Lego Joust. Did not win. That's what the upcoming Castle Boat Gift with Purchase is going to be is from. But my initial idea was like taking one of the old Art Deco gas station, super early Lego set designs and turn that into like a modern building. Like have it be turned into from a gas station to something else. Couldn't quite get it to look nice and be enough part, you know, like fit within the parts and everything like that, but so that's one reason why I ended up going with the Joust instead. Make an Art Deco Argama? I don't think that would work. Oops. There goes the coin. That's okay. We could almost make Tom Servo. So it's interesting because they like Lego Ideas was like specifically no new parts for a while. I think that one of those like obviously Lego doesn't want to be forced to make new parts, but they don't mind if it makes sense for the model, kind of thing. I think that's their kind of attitude. But it's just interesting how many new molds this actually got. It was a ball except for part of one season when it was a cylinder. He got a haircut. It was weird, though. I mean, I doubt that, like, how about it? I mean, sure, like, someone could make a fan model. I don't think that Lego would do that. For one thing, they'd have to get permission from Disney to use the Statler and Waldorf. Well, not a rogue AI. As I discovered, that wouldn't get accepted. And I'm pretty sure that's what you're mentioning. I was under the impression that Disney still owns them. But I don't know. Okay, so this is here. This one is here. There we go. And then we get the 5.5 axle with stop there. Okay, so that's how it's set up in the thing. Wait a second. Oh, no. Oh, I see. Okay, I goofed up slightly. I thought that this bushing went on the bottom. It doesn't go on the bottom. It goes on in between here. Pretty sure that's so that these don't get compressed. Okay, there we go. Huh, alright. So this is another one being inverted here. Because if it went up like this, then this being here would of course prevent it from connecting in there. But this is going to go in like that. There we go. One by 6 plates, more 5x5 macaroni, long macaroni. And then tiles. Macaroni tile. There we go. All right, and the final bag. Oh, whoops. Also, spare parts from the previous bag, a clear 1x1 plate, and a black Technic bushing. There we go. And let's get the Lego minifig, or the Lego designer minifig. Okay, so a car in one hand. Green base plate. Yellow bricks. 1x1 plates, I should say. And a 1x1 peak slope. All right, let's go ahead and zoom in. Move that out of the way. There we go. So a house and a car. She's got a little brick there and Lego Ideas. So the Lego Ideas logo on the front and back of her shirt. That's pretty cute. Now we dismember her, cut her apart into constituent parts. Really, it's like the transporter. Alright, then get that there. Roll it there. Alright. Well, she's close to atomized, at least as far as Lego can be. I mean, I could have taken off her legs and her hands and arms. And that would have done it. Because minifigs are technically, let's see, 10 pieces. 10 separate pieces. Because you've got the waist and each leg. And each one of those pieces is different. Then you have the torso, each arm, each hand. The hands are the same, but the arms are different. Then, of course, head and hat or hair. So I could have taken it apart into even smaller pieces, but that does stress the parts. You're not supposed to do that. Now, there were, in Build a Minifig at the LEGO store, there were dark blue classic space bodies, except they had yellow hands, and I did swap hands when I got a couple of those. 'Twas naughty, naughty. Okay, now 2x3 curved slopes, like on the base. Of course, over the years, I have seen a lot of hands without, or torsos without hands, so. I put the hands that I took off onto the torsos that I took them off of. Such talk reminds you of when your brother destroyed your TMNT toys by removing all the hands? Ah, but see, with LEGO, they can be put back on. And I would definitely not do that to someone's minifigs without permission. There we go. And that goes right on there. So it fits right in there. That's pretty nice. We get another coin. Put that there. All right, and spare parts. I'll fill the container in a moment. Yellow 1x1 plate. Red 1x1 pyramid peak slope, and a blue roller skate. All right, so it's actually not very full when you put them all in, which is interesting. All right, so down it goes. And there we go. Turn it a little bit more, and out. Okay, well, I got a bonus one. I got a bonus one. Shouldn't have gotten two, but I did. So I got 2 for the price of 1. Yeah. That might have been because it was half turned already when I did it, though. So it's very cool. Let's see if I can actually show them go down. Like, gravity is going to be working kind of against me. Yeah, because it's stuck back there now. But if I do that, there we go. It's a Paradisa figure. Oops. And they can both fit here in the little slot too. This is very adorable. This is very adorable, and I can keep this together and take the minifigs from it that I want out and put in other minifigs. Can it work without coins? No, it cannot. So there's a little latch. Now there's no coin in there. I can't turn it, and I can't turn it back either. But if I put a coin in and push it down, now it does. Now I can't turn it anymore. And I got one of the Octopus Castle guys. So it is very, very nice. Like, the mechanics in it are pretty cool. I know, minifigs are just a dime. Well, we don't know that it's a dime. It's 10 units. It could be 10 bucks. Could be 10 yen. Could be 10 gil. Could be 10 gold. Or it could be 10 space bucks. For all we know. But that is very, very cool. I will definitely be keeping it together for a little while because it's very neat. It is definitely something to like bring out and be like, hey, look at this. Hey, listen. Okay, well, before we wrap things up, we've got minifigs to open. Now I just need a Mr. Gold. Yeah, I know, right? All right, 4. So we're going to the middle. D20, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put it here. There we go. All right. How long before Princess Linda gets a unicorn? It depends. Like, it's hard to say because it's all random. Start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Let's go ahead and roll the die. 3. So, the bunny. Now, I will say, I will pull it down. I do have the new set. See, there's a unicorn. But we have to finish with the old set first. The January, the list of January minifigs has leaked already, and there's some really nice looking ones, or really sounding ones. All right, so Bahamut going for 6. That is the Bagpiper. 3 for Nadarogai, also the bunny. Tonight's beginning guess is a Minotaur Mechanism Schematics Designer. I know, right? Let me see if I can pull up the list of what we are looking at. Good lord, when was that? Oh, we're also getting a gift with purchase, Restaurants of the World Greece, which will be a Taverna. So that's kind of neat. Okay. All right, so I got the list up, but I got to see how... What do I got? 30 seconds? Yeah, I can't read those off in 30 seconds. We'll go for the next one. Bagpipe guy is the only one you lack from this set. It's a good piece. Because we have gotten one before. Although I think this was with the earlier opening. I was like swapping out boxes, but then I decided to just like focus on the box. All right, predictions are just about closed. Let me go ahead and get my timer up. Okay, timer's all ready, and predictions are closed. All right, let's go. Okay, I've got some... Is that smooth? Or is that... No, that's textured. Okay. Trying to find something else that is gonna reveal what I've got. I'm not sure what that is. It's hair. I'm gonna go with Tarzan. So a 47.85. Was not really feeling too many unique parts in there. Yeah, I have my skill. It's just off camera. I do like that song. Nope. Okay. I was considering this. Oh, yeah, that is more textured than I thought. Okay. All right. That's a no. That was my first guess, but I thought this was smoother than it was. So that is a no. Complete the prediction. All right, who is getting the hams? Lel Bunny getting 17,000 hams. Bahamut and Red Hyena going for within 20 seconds. Crimson Clover and Roger C4 Wilco going for 20 to 50. And Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. So we get our Olympic medalist swimmer. Gold medalist, in fact. There we go. With the swim cap. So let's go ahead and zoom on in. I do like this swim cap, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen more of it. So there we go. Let's go ahead and mark our second one off of that. Oh, I rolled the wrong die for that anyway. I couldn't have rolled those. Whoopsie. I will do it better next time. All right. Next up is Series 10, which does have the possibility of getting Mr. Gold. Extremely unlikely, though. All right, 4. So once again, we're going down the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. No. Okay, good news. Rolled back towards me so I can get it with my foot. Don't go off the table. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tried to escape. How dare it. All right, start the prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? 2. That's saying Medusa. All right. So while people get their guesses in and their predictions in, let's see. Okay, so these are based on descriptions of the pictures. So we're getting a samurai with an Oni mask, which is possibly related to Ninjago. A flower child, a child dressed as a flower, includes a hedgehog. Knight, yellow and black colored knight with a black raven on the shield. I'm thinking that this is going to be a graffiti artist, colorful outfit with a pink mohawk and possibly like a spray paint can. A Venetian gondolier, except like the Venetian gondola will be like the costume element like we got with the ship captain a couple series ago. A lady in a bear costume. Also includes a baby dressed as a bear. A florist wearing an outfit similar to the Chocolatier minifigure, but she works in a flower shop. Includes a bouquet and scissors. Kaiju, humanoid crab with a nicely molded headpiece and claws instead of hands. Includes destroyed buildings. A game show host, a man in yellow suit holding a winner's check. Spa lady, a woman in a bathrobe and a cup and hair wrapped in a towel. Child knight, a child with a sword and shield featuring a squirrel crest. Also includes a squirrel. And a lady with a corgi. Standard civilian-style minifigure, but includes a molded corgi. So we can finally do Ein. All right, let me see what people were predicting. All right, so 12 from Bahamut. That would be the Colonial Soldier, which I think we've gotten all of. 5 for Nadaroge Eye. That would be the Last of the Mohicans. Do I have any goggles for a dog? No. Yes, they had a plain one. They've had multiples like that, but that was what came to my mind. All right. Let's go ahead and reset my timer. And go. All right, let's see. It is definitely not the Medusa. $10.01. We have the Roman soldier. Yeah, Roman soldier. All right. So that was 10.01 to choose the outcome within 20 seconds. Complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? Bahamut and Red Hyena getting all the hams. Very nice. Lord Canis, Lel Bunny going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Roger C4 Wilco going for no. Always bet on Ald, except for last time. Now, there was no pirate. No pirate minifigs in that set. Am I sure it isn't Kirk Douglas? Kirk Douglas was a gladiator, not a... Actually, I don't even think he was a gladiator. He wasn't a Roman centurion. So no shield, unfortunately. Like, Spartacus was a slave revolt. They were not well organized, and they used makeshift armor and stuff. Anything that they could get. So the other Roman soldier does have a shield. This guy does not. I do have a bunch of black shields that would fit, though. I really like this helmet, though. It's a very nice helmet. He might not have been a gladiator in real life, yeah, but he probably wasn't wearing a standard suit of armor. There we go. So that is our third of that. I should probably get over to the sheet for this one. Okay. Let's get our scale ready. And start a new prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? I'll get my die ready. So get your predictions in. 2 for Bahamut, that is the cute kitty. A Minotaur vending machine, a parts mold maker. 10 for Not a Rogue AI, that would be the bunny. The only one that we've gotten all of so far is the koala. And the one that we are waiting on is the Dalmatian. We haven't gotten the Dalmatian yet. So get your predictions in. Oh, you know what? It would probably help if I'd actually pick one out. I'm very silly. All right, 5. So we're going down there. 10. I got to re-roll. 8. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's going to be that one. Okay, so there we go. And let's slip another one in right there. Okay. You didn't get many of this set? They're pretty nice. I like the accessories. The goldfish is really adorable. I really like the goldfish one. All right, get your predictions in. Just a few seconds remaining. And predictions are closed. Okay, first we shake it to make a guess. There's definitely lots of pieces. I'm hearing a couple big ones. All right, I think I am going to go with the peacock. That is what I'm going to go with. Let's roll the die. 6, so that's a reroll because there are no more koalas. 10, so that is bunny. I don't think that's a bunny. Let's go ahead and weigh it. 19.23. Could be the... Could be the peacock. Some of these have been higher weight. Is that the heaviest one? The parrot is 20.03, but it's a big drop. So yeah, I'm going to say that the weight is the peacock. Actually, you know what? I'll say that the weight is the parrot, since that at least gives a full spread. All right. Let's scan it. That is the peacock. All right, so the guess was correct. The weight was too, but I made an executive decision to spread out the chances. That way 2 of them weren't the same. All right. Let's choose the outcome. And it was possible. That is yes with guess. Complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? Bahamut and Red Hyena getting all the hams. Very nice. Shield of Hope going for yes with die roll. Lord Canis going for yes with weight. And Roger C4 Wilco and Lil Bunny going for no. Let's go ahead and make our peacock. It's never going to amaze you how I do that. Okay, so here's the key. I was listening to large and small pieces. No, it's just I mean, it's a track that has it's from a game, so it does repeat. But if you guys want me to move on to a different one, there you go. There are related tracks, though, so it is possible that, like, a similar track played right before that one. It was only 2 minutes in. Okay, so basically, I heard a couple large pieces, so that would explain, like, that would be explained by the bass, of course, and the tail. I didn't hear they have a flat envelope, paper envelope, that has the tail of the peacock. I mean, not the peacock, the parrot. And I didn't hear that. That makes a little bit of a softer thump sound, and also seems bigger. But I did hear small parts, and here we've got 4 small parts. And I definitely heard what I thought was something like the 1x1 cylinder plate, which could have easily been like the tile on top there, the tile there, or the dome, the gem piece from inside the clam. So it could have been one of those pretty easily. But I heard a bunch of small pieces. So this has a guaranteed 3. There's a guaranteed 4 here, 2. Really just the 1 here. Most of the other ones don't, like, and this has 2 small pieces, kind of. Very few of the others have 3 or 4. And since I heard some big pieces, I didn't think it was the frog. Houdini revealing his secrets here. I mean, like, it's not like you know, it's something that you'd still have to practice. So. And then with these figures, of course, like you're gonna feel legs and you're gonna feel a torso. Let me go ahead and we got a spare brown 1x1 cylinder plate. So with these other ones, like, something like the like Neptune here, the Viking warrior lady, Medusa. Those are pretty easy to feel because you're going to feel a large piece with these two, where the legs should be. Oh, and the bride there. So again, like the bride and the warrior, you're going to feel this dress slope piece. Is it like card counting? Not illegal, but you'll be asked to leave if LEGO catches you doing it? LEGO doesn't give a crap, no. I mean, if like this were actually in a if this were actually in a real casino, then they probably wouldn't let me feel the bags for these. They probably wouldn't let me shake these. But no, I don't think it's like card counting. Yeah, so they all have torsos. They all have torsos. So that's only going to help you if you get, and I don't think any of these have it. Occasionally they'll have a minifig that has a, okay, actually, this guy. So you'll feel the torso, and if one of the hands is very different, then you know you got this guy. Because he's got the catcher's mitt. It's just a unique hand element. That's all it is. Oh yeah, I mean, they wouldn't let me weigh them, for sure. Because you can, like looking at the Series 28, you can tell just by looking at these that the parrot and the peacock are going to be the heaviest. Because this has a 1x2x2 brick. This has the tail, and they both have big heads. Whereas the lightest is actually the koala. I'm not sure why. He doesn't have a tail piece. Yeah. Dalmatian has a tail piece. Monkey has a tail piece. So all the ones that are similar. The Dalmatian has a tail piece. The monkey has a tail piece. Kitty has a tail piece. Frog doesn't, but he has a bunch of small pieces. So those are all the 16. So he's got this plant, which is a pretty light piece anyway, and then the boomerang, and that's really it. But then you get to some of the like when you get into the middle ranges, it's going to be like the weight would be really difficult to use. Like if you just weight it without having gotten weights before, if you got a 17.6. Like, what do you think it looks like 17.6 here? I don't know. That could be anything. But if I get a 20 or a 19, I know it's going to be one of these two. Has to be. Nothing else is as big. Nothing else has as many parts. And this one is heavy because of the paper envelope for the tail fabric piece. Yeah, and the stores, they will let you use scanners. They will let you do, like really examine them closely. Again, as long as you're not preventing other people from buying ones that they want kind of thing. Yeah, the LEGO stores don't care. They're perfectly happy with you getting the ones that you want. They might complain if you go in the day of and you're, like, grabbing ones that... Like clearing them out, like getting like all of, like all the Medusas if they come out with new Medusas, for example. If you're going through all of them looking for Medusas, they might say, leave some for other people. All right, but then like other pieces to feel for is hair pieces and hats. Those are pretty unique because like the rabbit is going to be unique. This hippie hair is going to be unique. This helmet. On the Viking lady is going to be unique. You got spiky hair here. You got the kind of pompadour bit there. Helmet. This is a very unusual feeling piece. This is just a large piece. This is pretty smooth, but if you feel the opening in the hood, that's kind of going to give it away. This is going to feel pretty unique. This hair isn't going to feel very unique. This hair doesn't feel very unique. Her hair is not going to feel very unique. This doesn't feel very unique either. When you were at one recently, they told you up front the two that they didn't have. Well, that's nice of them. I find that Barnes & Noble is really good. Within a couple days, within like the first 3 days of a set coming out, visit a Barnes & Noble, and you're in good shape, I think. So, let's see here. You got a couple baseball cap type hats. And these are different hats, so you would need to be careful between these two. You got a helmet here, mohawk here. This can be kind of difficult to feel. You got snake hair, you got big hair here. This helmet, of course. Big hair here, because that goes down to quite a ways in the back. The bald piece won't feel very unique, but he's got a 2x2 tile. No one else has a 2x2 tile. He also has a cup. So those kind of stand out. You have a hard time differentiating some hair types by touch through the plastic? Yeah, some of them can be. Well, so, like, here's the thing. Like, this spiky hair is very spiky. And this is not. This is going to be pretty smooth, but it's going to feel ridged. And you can always use your fingernail. Yeah, well, see, the reason I say that is because everyone knows that the LEGO stores are going to have the minifigs. Not everyone knows that Barnes & Noble carries them, too. So I find hitting a Barnes & Noble is a much better prospect. Especially if you do it the day of or the day after or something like that. You're much more likely to get what you want, I think, at a Barnes & Noble. Depending, if it's a Barnes & Noble in a mall, then probably not. But if it's a Barnes & Noble out in kind of the boonies, it's a good one. It's a good one to check. I know of a Barnes & Noble that they get checked, but I went 5 days after this wasn't released, if not more, and they still had at least one of everything. No, it wasn't even this one. It was the next series. Where's my minifig sheet for that? Oh, right here. Whoops. Yeah. A bunch had been purchased, but they still had one of everything. I didn't get one of everything because I had a set coming in, but so here for this set, what we're gonna have some interesting ones. Obviously, I can't feel these, but like the witch, the elf, and the unicorn. These two are gonna weigh a lot. The Bionicle guy probably will weigh a lot. And the steampunk lady and the aquatic swimmer will probably weigh a lot. So those are going to be good ones for that. Obviously, we've got scanners these days, so I have to like specifically go out and work this stuff up. Let me see. I believe I have the next set. There it is. Oops. There we go. All right. So let's see. Yeah. Actually, the she is weighs more than the witch. 19.45, 19.23, 20.82. And actually, this guy doesn't weigh that much. I mean, these are small pieces, so that is fair. The dinosaur weighs the least because all he is the hat, the tail, and 1x1 cylinder and plate. But yeah, I mean, we got a bunch in the middle in the 17 range, and a fair number in the 18 range. So that'll be fun to figure out when we get to it. And like I found with this set, my weights were significantly off between them. You need 4, 6, and 12. Well, good luck finding them. I mean, if you ever can't find some of them and they're not ones that I care too much about, hit me up. I'm gonna have extras. Anyway, that is going to wrap us up for tonight. I am planning to stream tomorrow. Instead of Spelljammer, because we've got players out, I will do some Lego building. You wonder why the weights were off? Glue. Each box, like, the variance between each box is going to be because of the glue holding them together. Some get a little bit more glue, some get a little bit less. That kind of thing. That's what it boils down to. Because they're not, like, far off. They've been, like, 0.3 grams off, so... It's very, very little. But, like, some of these, like, most of the, like, a few of these were, I had two that were the exact same weight, or they were within a hundredth of a gram. Some of them were within, like, a tenth of a gram. But, like, a different box is going to have different, it's going to have been run through the system at a different time. Maybe a little bit more glue got on the boxes, maybe a little bit less. All it comes down to. Anyway, no Spelljammer tomorrow, but keep an eye out because I am planning to stream some Lego building instead. It's going to basically boil down to how I feel in the morning when I wake up and how well I sleep tonight. I didn't sleep at all Wednesday night, which sucked, but I kind of chalked that up to having a large Mountain Dew at the movies. So late in the day, caffeine is not good for me these days. So I think that's like what it was there, and I I should sleep fine tonight. So tomorrow at noon, I will probably do some LEGO streaming. We will be back on Monday for some more Dragon Quest VII. Again, all this is contingent on everything working out, but, you know, fingers crossed. I expect things to be a lot better since I don't have hives and I'm getting used to the other medicine that I'm on. And I've figured out things to help me sleep. And then we'll be back to Wednesday and Friday LEGO building after that. We did finish up the Artemis goal, so that is complete. We have now moved on to the Neuschwanstein Castle. That is our next goal. So, if everything looks good next week, I'm planning to start Artemis, the Artemis rocket. So do tune in then. And I want to thank you guys for coming on out. And I shall see you next time. See you then, everyone.